Hello, welcome to the Accountable Love Podcast, where love means being accountable. My name's Aziz, and today we're going to discuss how relationships should be taken personal. Don't take it personal. We hear this over and over again. When relationships are personal, we can't keep on manipulating each other and making it seem like something is nothing. When it being personal is everything, it means everything to us. That's why we're in relationships. That's why we make personal decisions to spend time with people with our personal life. Don't take it personal. It's all personal. It all means something to us. The problem with relationships nowadays is people aren't taking it personal. All right, enjoy. Now, I just came back from a run and tired and all, sweaty and all, sitting here listening to, I don't know if it was an ESPN reporter or Fox 5 reporter, but they was talking about not taking something personal, not taking a relationship within, a colleague, or not taking a relationship on the court personal. And one thing I tend to hear is it rolls off people's tongue like nothing, like, oh, you shouldn't take it personal, you should move on, as if we should lack conviction. My first thing I'm thinking is when we talk to our builders and when we're building relationships with people and accountable relationships with people, we're always talking about personal issues. We're always talking about how the relationship should be taken personal. When we take it personal, we are more convicted in the relationship. We take more pride in the relationship. We connect the relationship and the people connect to us. We know that we're a part of them because they are our personal responsibility. We should take relationships personal. It should always be taken personal. You can't just cop out and say, don't take this relationship personal. Because 9 times out of 10, then you start taking the person for granted. Then you start doing what you want and making the relationship all about you. Then you start avoiding conflict. Then you stop having discussions. Then you stop making time. Then you stop doing a lot of things that are going to maintain the health of the relationship and maintain the accountability of the relationship. Take a relationship personal. These people are people that you are building a life with. These are your people. These are people you chose to be with out of everybody in the world, out of billions. They are your personal relationships. So they mean everything to you. These are your personal relationships. So take it personal. Instead of standing back, listening to all these people avoid conflict and letting don't take it personal run off their tongue like we supposed to just stand disrespect or like we supposed to just take, anything that's given to us. It is personal. It does affect us personally. Now, I understand if it doesn't deal with the progression of relationship, then why are we having the discussion, why are we arguing, why are we having conflict? Understand if it doesn't hurt the overall agenda, it doesn't take shots at your identity, it doesn't destroy your faith. Yeah, then we can look at it and say, is it really worth having the discussion or having the discrepancy or having the conflict? Then we can look at it and say, listen, this is not worth our relationship. But the reason why we come to those destinations is because everything we have in life is personal. Everything we decide to bring into our life is very personal to us. And when you start looking at your relationships, when you look at a friendship, when you meet somebody walking down the street, you're having a discussion, whether you're on the basketball court, whether you at a party, however you meet them, you know that it's a personal relationship that you're forming, that you're trying to build. When a person says they're not taking it personal, that means that they just want something from you and they'll keep it moving. I can guarantee anybody that uses that phrase frequently are people who lack commitment, people who don't want responsibilities for other people. They always seem easygoing and they go with the flow. And, they seem like your best friend. They seem like they really respect your independent choice. They really respect your identity. They really don't want you to be a clone of them. They're not forcing you to do anything. Everything should just roll off. 9 times out of 10, those are individualistic people. Those are the people that really don't want the responsibility of others. Part two is they don't want you to hold them accountable for anything. So of course they're going to have that approach to life because they prefer not to have the discussions or the disagreements. They prefer not to come to agreements. They want to move and leave relationships when they want. They want to do what they want, how they want, typically, right? Because nothing's personal. They have no attachment to anything. And that's what they work towards because they know the person they believe with the most power is the one that's willing to go. It's always willing to leave the relationship. The person that can walk in and out of a relationship anytime they want. Those are the people that have all the power. That's why so many people are scared to commit because they're scared to commit to somebody who is just more focused on power over love. They're more focused on actually not getting hurt in a relationship that's supposed to bring them health and joy. So they go in, holding back, really not attaching themselves to the other person, really not getting personal with the other person. You can have your secrets. You can do your own thing. You can not, talk to me. You can keep your distance, keep your thoughts to yourself. You don't have to tell me certain things. They're the distant people. They're the people that never want to take it personal because they don't want the responsibility. They don't want the commitment. Part two is they probably got a whole lot of things to hide. So they're going to give you passage on secrets or your past or things of that nature. People that really want to invest and they're going to take it personal, they get all in your business. Your personal business becomes their personal business. They want to know everything about you. They want to understand you fully. They want to invest in you. They want to study you. They ultimately may get on your nerves because they are trying to get so close to you and trying to understand you so much because they're taking it personal. Being in your life means something to them. And I'm not talking about a person that's obsessive. I'm not talking about a person who is insecure. I'm not talking about a person who's doing it for the wrong reasons, who has the wrong motives. I'm talking about somebody who really just wants to get to know you, to ask you a lot of questions. They really have a connection with you. They have a vested interest in you. They're willing to, connect lives. They're willing to connect money. They're willing to connect things that are going to be long term because they believe in who you are. They have faith because they take it personal. They believe in the relationship. They believe in building relationships because those relationships are personal to them. So come on, man. Stop avoiding a connection. Stop avoiding commitment. Take it all personal. Think about this. You got to think how personal you want your life to be. You only get one life. And that shouldn't be to squander it by being toxic, by, adapting addictions and, just living it for you. Build something, build a legacy, build a foundation. Have people that love you, pass it on. Pass on a set of rules and regulations and a set of principles that your family can flourish in for decades and centuries. And the family name means something. Why? Because you took it personal. People make me laugh because they always talk about businesses and personal. When you fire somebody, they're losing their job. It affects their family. It's very personal. Now, it may be a good reason, but 9 times out of 10, when they are telling you it's not personal, there's no good reason why they're doing it. There's not a reason they can look in the mirror and say it's a good reason. Instead of saying it's not personal, give a person a clear understanding of why you're doing what you're doing. Take the time to care enough about people to give them an understanding of why this is being done. Because it's all personal. It affects us. It affects our lives. Our relationships are personal. So we need to stop using that term just to say we don't want to deal. We don't want the responsibility. That person's sensitive. That person feels a way. Yeah, the fact that you feel some type of way means that it's personal to you. It's dear to you. You care. And now we live in this microwave society where it's okay not to care. Where you're like, I got things to take care of. I'm busy. I don't have to care about other people. I can just care about me. But in reality, when you take things personal, when you look at your relationships and they're personal to you, then they mean the world to you. Because if we have self-love, as people say, because obviously we don't believe in self-love, we believe in self-awareness, because love is a group journey. So when you have love, you are connecting, it's reciprocal. So you're connecting with somebody who's giving you the same energy that you're giving them positively. So that's what love is. It's a connection of energy, a synergy to some degree, but it's personal. Love is a personal connection. So when we look at being personal, it's lost its value because people are using it so frequently as a negative. Don't take it personal. Personal means you're sensitive. Personal means that you're too sensitive. Personal means that you're too angry or you're being too much, or now it's synonymous with losing control versus taking it personal, meaning you care. You want to get through it. You want to actually have a debate and go back and forth until you can agree. You want to walk together. You want to move together. You want to establish roles. You want to have an identity in the relationship. You want clarity within your structure of your relationship. You want to know that you have stability. You want to be able to have open lines of communication. These are all the things that a healthy and accountable relationship entails. But we're so busy trying not to take everything personal because we're really living in a state where we're losing the relationship in our head at all times. So we're trying to be the one that's not getting dumped. We're trying to be the one that's not as involved. We're trying to be the one that can take it or leave it so we can walk out of the relationship anytime we want. So we live by these guidelines where, it's not even personal. It's all personal. But we're not going to look at strangers, things that happen. You might have stepped on my toe. It's not that serious. It's a pair of sneakers to put your hands on somebody or to hurt somebody or to harm somebody or even to curse somebody out, based on why they did it. It was an accident, things of that nature. It's not personal. It did personally affect you because maybe your sneakers got scuffed. But let's stop downplaying. Let's stop emotionally blackmailing people. It is personal. So let's use different terms. Yeah, it was a mistake. It was a mistake and I apologize for it. X, Y, and Z, I lost my balance is an explanation. But it is personal. Scuffed the dude's sneaker. So at the end of the day, think about this. When we enter relationships, and we really think of how we want to be in relationships, we do want our relationships to be personal. We want them to be dear to us. We want to have a clear understanding of who we're with, what we have invested, how we're going to grow our investment, how we're going to maintain this for a lifetime through longevity. And that's going to take having a structure. That's going to take having consistency. That's going to take taking it personal. It's going to take really building it piece by piece and personalizing it for everybody that's involved in the relationship. So we all can look at what we built and be proud of what we built as a unit, where everybody serves a purpose. Everybody has a role. Nothing moves without the other person. It's okay to say I can rely on somebody else. I can depend on somebody else. But it's also cool to say that this person's personal to me. This is a personal connection. This is somebody I love. This is somebody I care about. Somebody I'm willing to go to bat with. Somebody I'm willing to give my life to, my heart to. It's okay. Stop being so macho. Stop being so disconnected. It's okay to take things personal. So when I'm running and I'm hearing this, obviously I was able to run a little faster because I was engrossed in the emotion of it. And I really took it in. And I'm like, really, I hear it all the time, but this one struck a chord because I guess the fatigue and being tired and running as long as I was running and just, leaning towards the finish line. And then you hear something creep in, because we know we all get the information at our weakest. Like when we're at our weakest level of consciousness, things creep in. So at this point, this hit harder. And I'm like, yeah, I got to speak out on this because at the end of the day, we need better relationships. We need to stop being so scared of being connected and being emotional and saying somebody is our type of person. Now, we all know we don't own anybody. So because you say somebody's your person don't mean that you own them. Don't think it's an ownership, but it's an agreement. It's an agreement to enhance each other's lives. It's an agreement to be responsible for each other's lives, be accountable within each other's lives. It's okay to take it personal and be in a personal relationship with somebody, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a spouse, something goes on with your kid. It is personal. It affects you. It's a reflection of you. Now, should you act out? When we now talk about how we should conduct ourselves in certain situations, person needs to stop saying don't take it personal and explain why you're overreacting, or explain you're why the experience doesn't entail you being out of control. Now, or it's not really being productive in the way you're handling the situation. But you have to take the time to have reasons. People are not going to listen to insults. They're not going to listen to you belittling their connections, especially not with their kids. So when you look at this and you look at this term, I want you to start hearing it clear, hearing the type of people that use this term. Typically people who are not invested, people who are avoiding the conflict, people who don't have the time, people that really don't want to resolve issues, people that don't care about resolving issues because they're not worth their time. And think about the people who take it personal. Think about how much they put into the relationship. Think about how much they're investing into the outcome of the relationship. Think about the type of human beings that take it personal. And then think about the type of people that aren't taking it personal. Which one is more motivated by personal goals? Which one is more motivated by team success, relationship success? You got to ask yourself, because we're all going to gain. There's some people that just gain personally and they're very comfortable in that. And that's their motivation. But to believe that you don't gain when your team gains, that's how you know they have never been a part of a great team. Because you flourish when your team flourishes. And it's even better because you have other people to party with, to share success with. They're not just this misunderstood and you don't get it and you don't understand kind of person. Everybody's feeling it, everybody gets it, and we're connected. And we're willing to duplicate it on a regular basis. I mean, I have a team like that. We go back and forth all the time. We have discussions all the time. We clown each other. We cry with each other. We laugh with each other. We look at who's dealing with a hardship, and we are there for each other. But we all understand. Nobody ever says, you don't get it, you don't understand, you're not understanding me. Well, we fully understand that everything that happens to them is personal to me, and they understand everything that happens to me is personal to them. And if we don't understand that and we lose track of that, we have people that's going to hold us accountable to remind us how personal these relationships are. You can't keep on running around disconnected. And again, I'm saying, when you say don't take it personal, you're very disconnected. And obviously, when I heard this, it was from somebody who wasn't connected to the person, because obviously they're talking about or they're analyzing somebody that they have no emotional attachment to. So they're telling them how they should respond and how they should react by saying, don't take it personal. It's not personal. Sounds like a business person to me. Sounds like a person who's all about self-interest, because you understand how personal everything is, how personal your achievements are, how personal your disappointments are. You understand how personal it is. When you are great and when you want to be in great relationships or great in anything, everything's personal. That's why you see all the people who are great are quote unquote sensitive, but they're just mad. They're angry. And they use that as motivation to be successful, because they take everything personal, every failure personal, every success personal. They take everything personal because they know they only have a couple of breaths on this earth, and their heartbeat means everything. So everything's personal. And if you're not on that level, yeah, they're more inclined to push you out their life or walk away from you or leave you where you at and move on to be around more like-minded people, be around people who also take everything personal and it means something to them. And we call them crazy, but they seem to succeed. I mean, people call me crazy because I take it all personal. You're not going to be in my circle. You're not going to be around me if you're not invested in principles. You're not invested in honoring your principles. You're not invested in showing up and being consistent and being accountable. We all know this is the Accountable Love Podcast. So Accountability means everything. So if you can't say, listen, I made a mistake. Listen, we're going to rectify this mistake. I don't just hear sorry. Sorry's not enough. Show me that you're going to make this better. We started off at an even ground. You took something. So get back to even ground. I'm not waiting for you. Put in the extra work, make it right, and then we get back on the same footing. But if you take, I walk. So we at a disadvantage. We're further apart. Because I take it personal. When you do something to me, I take it personal. When you do something for me, I take it personal. I hug, kiss, give you a pound, celebrate you. I take it personal. I'm fully invested on both ends. I get angry. I can yell and go at it, not in an abusive way, but in a passionate way. And I also can celebrate you and yell and scream your name when you're doing something that's amazing and great. I don't care about what the world has to say about me showing you love and yelling and screaming and supporting you. Because I take it personal. Your win is my win. Your beliefs are also my beliefs. The way you live your life also reflects on me. The way I live my life also reflects on you. So I never leave the house believing that I'm my own person. Do you really think enlightened people care about being their own person? They've been their own person for a long time. Their teenage years. The whole point in them now having relationships with other people so they can live a life with others, not just focus on their own. That's when you know you evolve. So, yeah, you take it personal because everything around you is personal. When I got to call my peoples out, it's personal. They reflect me. You're wrong. You didn't do what was right. Somebody could have came to me, explained something to me that somebody that I love has done to them. Not that dude that's my people's through and through. Whatever they did, I'm backing them. No, I'm calling them out. You're right. We're going to have this discussion. You're 100% right. We'll have this discussion, whatever. And I have the discussion with them and maybe we go back and forth. Maybe our friendship is fractured for a few days. But we have that type of open line of communication. You know why? Because it's personal to them and it's personal to me. So in all of those personals, we got to find some form of stability. We got to find some way to agree. And we always come back together some way, somehow. We always find our way back. Why? Because we have dialogue. We have the discussion. We're not just letting things go. Even if we decide to sever the relationship, we have a discussion before we decide to sever the relationship. We tap out and we decide that we need closure. We need to move on. And we move on. The bottom line is it's all personal to us. That's why we make the time and take the time. So stop copping out. Stop saying things aren't personal in your relationships. It's a smack in the face to everybody that you say you love. It's a smack in the face to everybody you say you invested in. Say it's not the time. Let's revisit this. Find different choices of words if you feel that it's not the time to have the discussion or you press the time. But anytime you at a disagreement or you at a discord, or even somebody from the outside is trying to cause distension in your relationships by saying things about your people and you don't take the time to put them in their place, it's going to be personal to your people when they find out. You know that, right? It's going to be personal. Because if they are not there to defend themselves, it's your job to do so. So take your relationships personal. Be serious. Be convicted. Be responsible. Be devoted, dedicated. All of those principles are the motivating factors of a healthy and equal and accountable relationship. We want to be with equals, and we want to have the comfort of being with people that love us, and that love takes taking everything personal. The good, the bad, the ugly. It's how you know you're being abused. because you feel a personal attack. You can feel it. And you're not going to stand for it because it's personal. Stealing personal time from your life, stealing personal integrity and dignity from your life. Take everything personal. But for the most part, take the time to take your relationships personal. Stop just using people to fill a void. Stop using people to escape. Stop using people for sexual gratification. And really start looking at people as partners, looking at people as friends, spouses. Start looking at people as equals and take it all personal. Because 9 times out of 10, if you take yourself personally and give yourself value and take it personal, people will look at you and personalize things when it comes to you. But start looking at being personal as being connected, being personal as being committed, being personal as being devoted, dedicated. They're going to start taking things personal because you are a part of who they are and y'all are one. So it's all personal. This is another Accountable Love podcast. And my name is Aziz, and continue to take your relationships personal. All right, enjoy.